Tying up another remnant fly today. This is a kind of a beetle slash cricket. Maybe not cricket because it doesn't really look like a cricket. It looks more like a beetle, doesn't it? So we'll just call it a beetle pattern. I ran across some closed-held foam and a kink-shanked hook in there, and because terrestrial bite is on right now, it just kind of developed into this. Something a little different with some hackles, some dry fly hackles and dubbing on that. Kind of went with an all black look, but again, the remnant flies, if you're not aware of what those are, check out the video link down in the description. But these are all scraps that would have been thrown out from another class or another project that have now made a productive little beetle. That's the latest remnant fly, and I'll get started. I'm going to start this remnant fly with my hook in the vise. This is a Mustad 33903 kink-shanked hook. Probably, I'm going to say this is a size 6, not an 8. I think it's a little too big for an 8. It's not a 4, so I'm going to go with a 6. Unfamiliar with these hooks, the kinks in these are generally for like a popper or something, so that if the body of the fly somehow breaks loose from the actual hook, that it can't just spin around on the hook shank. So that's what the kink's for. I'm going to use it. It comes in handy for some terrestrial patterns, and it's what I found in the box when I was rummaging and looking and thinking about this. So I will debarb the hook if I haven't done that already, and I am going to use a UTC 140 denier in black. I'm going to start my thread just a little bit behind the eye of the hook, and I'm going to run it all the way down to the very end of the shank. Have no idea how this fly is going to come out, but I'm going to be incorporating some dubbing, some hackle, some foam, and rubber legs. So I think right now what I want to do is go ahead and tie on my foam. This is just a black 2mm closed-celled foam. And I'm going to taper this down just a little bit, because this is just to get the body kind of on here, get it started. I want the width of it to be right in the back here, because it's going to end up folding over. We'll see how that goes. So I'm going to wrap that in, wrapping this all down. I'm going to trim the excess off here. Get this all wrapped down. I kind of want to leave right behind the eye open a little bit. And I do want to go back and forth to make certain I have that foam all anchored really, really well. Okay. The idea is going to be to put some dubbing and some hackle for some legs underneath on this. Fold this over, anchor it down here, and then fold it back just a little bit like this and put some rubber legs on it, I think. So that's what I'm going to go for. Now I've got some black dubbing. I'm not certain. It doesn't look like a sow scud. It may be a super fine, because it is awfully fine. It looks kind of like a dry fly dubbing. But I got some other green and iridescent stuff in this. I'm wanting to just make this a black fly, but you certainly could add a little bit more color if you want. So if you see a little bit of purple or green flash in this, it's because I had some mixed in with it in the bag. So in my remnant bag, that is. I'm going to make this kind of a bushy body. if I've got the dubbing for it, I'll have to go back and forth to find out. Oh, wait a minute. Before I do that, I got a hackle I got to tie in. So let me get this off of here. Forgot all about that. Going to use a black dry fly hackle for this. Probably going to tie it in somewhere around back here because the barbs will end up being about the gap of the hook. I'm going to prep that by trimming back and having some anchors on the end of this and then pulling some barbs off so that when I start to wrap this in, I'll have the nice clean racus to go around a little bit before those barbs start to stick out. And again, I'm probably going to even put those hackles on fairly thick. The hackles aren't really going to keep this suspended in the surface film. The foam will do that. But I just want them to add a profile that looks buggy. Since this is more of a beetle, I'm not putting a tail or anything on this. Now you could go with, SLF or something, some other dubbing on this that is going to be a little fuller. I'm hoping I have enough here. I may not. Well, I think I may just have enough here. Yeah, I do. We're going to go with that. Okay. Yeah, you can see a little bit of green in there. Like I said, I wanted to keep it all black, but I wasn't going to try and pick all of that out. So I'm going to take the hackle here, start wrapping that in. Once I get a wrap around the back, I'm going to open that up some. Probably get a good 8 or 9 wraps on here. I just want to have this kind of buggy up underneath. Not really looking for a realistic beetle and or cricket pattern or anything. I'm just going for something all black, kind of terrestrial. Yeah, I'll wet my fingers and try and get some of these barbs out to the sides. Not that that's really critical. Then I'm going to fold that foam over, collecting it down to the hook shank right here. Then I'm going to bring my thread back just a little bit here. That, fold it back over. So that kind of makes a little bit of a head right up in there. About halfway down, I'm just going to trim that. And I'm going to go to the trouble to put just a little bit of a V-notch in here. Not that the fish are going to go, you're going to be thinking, wow, if it doesn't have that V-notch, it can't be a beetle, so I can't be eating it. I don't think that's going to be the case. I'm going to trim some of these back. If you have a lighter, which I usually do around my desk, and I clipped that foam, darn it, you can take a lighter and just pass it real quick and kind of melt the keratin back a little bit. Yeah, and I nicked that. Okay, so now last I've got some medium round rubber legs in black. I'm going to split those up. They're probably about twice the body length here. I'm going to split those up, tie them over on my side here. And I'm not tying these in super tight. I'm just going to get 3 wraps to hold them, because then I can take these one legs and bring them over to the other side. And then I have my legs on both sides. A couple more wraps to secure that, and a 4-turn whip finish. Trim away my thread. I'm going to take the front legs here, and I'm going to trim those short just a little bit beyond the eye of the hook. And the ones in the back here are going to get trimmed right at the back. I don't really want those to be too long. So just like that. You can wiggle those around if you want. You just want them sticking out a little bit. You can have those longer if you want them. I think the whole fly's a little off. There we go. Some head cement all down here where the thread wraps are at. Crowded the head just a little bit on that. Now there are tons of little beetle fly, flies out there, cricket flies, stuff like that other people have done. I did not do any research on this, and looking anything up here when I started this, I just got some things. I looked at the Remnant box and I saw some black foam, and I was thinking, it's that time of year. I wonder, I'm going to trim off these hackles here. Yeah, I like that a little better. I like that a little better. It's a little cleaner. So there you go. That is the latest Remnant fly, a little beetle type terrestrial pattern. Tie some up in some other colors if you want. I was kind of going for a beetle cricket kind of thing, but this would work well also in the middle of the summer as June bugs are out, and or Japanese beetles and things like that. You don't have to wait till August, September for the terrestrial bite or anything. I'm certain that would be an excellent panfish fly, but I think trout would like that as well. So that's the latest Remnant fly. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me at Devise today. I hope you learned at least a new pattern, if not a new technique, maybe a tip or trick here and there. If you have any questions about this fly or any of the techniques used in constructing this pattern, please leave them in the comments section down below. If you go to the trouble to ask a question, I'll go to the trouble to answer it. If you'd like to help dressed irons, please share this video with your friends and anybody you think that might enjoy this pattern. Until next time, remember, it's fly tying. If you're not having fun, then you're doing it wrong.